The tennis community was taken aback when Buckingham Palace issued an official statement following the shocking revelation that King Charles III had lauded Alex Eala and offered a special reward. A 21-year-old Manila player who grew up on Spanish clay courts unexpectedly found herself getting acclaim often given to Grand Slam winners and Olympic greats. Fans were left wondering what Alex Eala had done to attract a king's notice and what this enigmatic prize that is causing excitement on two continents would be. The story begins on June 7, 2026, in Birmingham, England at Centre Court. After a taxing 2-hour battle on grass, Alex Eala stood at the net, still catching her breath, as the cheers had hardly subsided. She had just won the match with a cross-court winner that clipped the sideline, defeating the top seed. With that shot, she won her maiden grass court championship, her first WTA trophy since 2025, and perhaps the most significant win of her early career. The Women's Tennis Association had urged her to withdraw from the Birmingham Open just 7 days prior. Therefore, the most unexpected development was not the victory itself. Fitness issues were the basis for the WTA's suggestion. The 21-year-old Filipina had recently finished a very taxing clay court season, as seen by her heavy legs and restless nights, which only partially explained her 4-9 record. She appeared to be a player at risk of harm from the WTA's point of view. It appeared to Alex Eala to be a test. She tweeted 4 sentences that instantly ignited the tennis world, refused to retract, and signed a waiver absolving the governing body of liability. "I'm not hurt. I'm worn out. And I'm done acting like I'm not. However, I'm also tired of letting other people dictate what I can and cannot do." Social media took off in a matter of hours. Every platform was overrun with emojis of the Philippine flag, and the word "lean fight" started to spread. Eala personified what those words came to mean when she faced the top seed in the tournament on Centre Court. Even though her first serve percent was declining and she was down 4-1 in the second set, she refused to give up. Despite bending under the pressure, she managed to find another gear and fight her way back into the battle rather than giving up. She saved a match point, broke her opponent's serve twice, and won the championship with a backhand down the line that left the arena in stunned quiet until it exploded into wild jubilation. She lifted the trophy high at the prize ceremony later that evening and talked into a microphone that broadcast her thoughts to millions of people worldwide. "I was told I couldn't play by the WTA. Perhaps they were correct. I may be worn out, but I'm also a fighter." This pertains to the Philippines. Fans on 2 continents were crying as she concluded, while her mother, former national swimming star Risa Manno Eala, watched from the stands with tears flowing down her face. The president of the Philippines issued a public message of congratulations. However, what transpired next, something that nobody in that stadium could have predicted, would turn a defiant triumph into a moment that would transcend tennis, athletics, and even Buckingham Palace. London's Buckingham Palace, June 10, 2026, 9:15 a.m. The 3 days after winning the Birmingham Open trophy, Alex Eala found herself in a situation that was beyond her wildest dreams. She was back in Manila on a calm Wednesday morning, still experiencing jet lag and yet attempting to comprehend the emotional turmoil of the previous week when she received the call. The trophy now sat on a shelf in her childhood bedroom, a silver reminder of what defiance had made possible. However, that serenity was shattered when her phone buzzed with a notification that made her freeze. The email address ended in unmistakable letters UK Royal Official. At first, she dismissed it as another scam, something every aspiring athlete learns to ignore, from phony invitations to fake sponsors. But moments later, her agent called with an unsteady voice, broke through her doubts and said, "Alex, Buckingham Palace wants to talk to you." The message itself was formal but succinct. In addition to her tennis success at the Birmingham Open, His Majesty King Charles III was impressed by her bravery, her refusal to give up, and the message she conveyed to young athletes everywhere. According to the letter, the king wanted to talk about a topic of shared interest and extend his personal congratulations. Anything that both parties are interested in. She kept thinking about the phrase. What might that signify? Alex's phone rang nonstop for the next 2 days. The energy of the email had leaked, or at least the news of it had. After portions of the story were picked up by Philippine media sources, reporters immediately set up camp outside her family's house. Speculation went out of control on social media. Was she invited to tea by the king? Was the Commonwealth Game the subject of this? Or something completely unrelated to the date of June 22nd, the Philippine Independence Day? Then came the second email. It didn't request a meeting this time. One was announced. On June 25th, 2026, His Majesty King Charles III had asked her to attend a special audience at Buckingham Palace. Before the words fully registered, Alex Eala read them 7 times. Then she called her mother, and the two of them sobbed silently. A 21-year-old tennis player from Quezon City, a country that had never produced a Grand Slam singles champion, had few tennis courts, and frequently had little resources, was being called to the world's most famous palace as a guest of the monarch rather than as a visitor. The news was broadcast on Philippine television by midday. The title, Alex Eala invited to Buckingham Palace, King Charles III takes notice, was displayed at the bottom of the screen by the ABS-C trash can. A tennis victory was transformed into an international moment of curiosity in a matter of hours as the tale moved from sports sites to mainstream news. The world of tennis was perplexed. People are not just summoned by Buckingham Palace at random. Private audiences are usually reserved for heads of state, Nobel laureates, international humanitarian leaders, or athletes who have already established themselves at the pinnacle of their respective sports. The king's public appearances are carefully organized months in advance. As a result, the question swiftly gained traction on social media and media forums. Alex Eala, why? According to some commentators, it was a symbolic gesture intended to motivate young athletes in developing athletic systems, a Commonwealth acknowledgement, and a deliberate focus on emerging talent from member states. Others went so far as to say that because of her influence on sports and young representation, it might be linked to an honorary award or perhaps the initial phases of a rare royal honor. Given her age and career stage, most people rejected the outrageous speculation that she may get accolades on par with a knighthood. However, Alex herself remained mute during the storm. Her team simply released a single, well-crafted statement saying, Alex is deeply honored by His Majesty's invitation and looks forward to the meeting. There were no interviews, comments, or leaks. There are no justifications, no background information, and no assurances to satisfy the public's increasing curiosity. And the conjecture grew louder as a result of that stillness. The discussion around her became nearly unmanageable as June 25th approached. It was a topic of constant debate on sports networks. In an attempt to uncover the secret hint that explained why a 21-year-old WTA 125 winner had been called to Buckingham Palace, fans scrutinized every previous performance, quote, and aspect of her Birmingham run. It became less logical the more people attempted to explain it. What did the king want with a player who had been told to drop out of a mid-level event just a few weeks prior? Indeed, impressive. However, Wimbledon glories, Grand Slam finals, and the kind of legacy typically associated with royal acknowledgement are still far off. When the solution was eventually revealed, it would not only take the tennis community by surprise. People would be forced to reconsider their preconceived notions about sport, power, and recognition as it reverberated over 2 continents. London's Buckingham Palace, June 25, 2026, 2 p.m. The much-awaited day has finally arrived. After passing past the gates, a black chauffeured vehicle slowed down on the gravel driveway. The facade of Buckingham Palace rose before Alex Eala like something surreal, almost cinematic, as the doors opened and she stepped out into the clean London air. She was positive that the soldiers at the entry could hear her heartbeat because it was so loud. Wearing a traditional Filipiniana dress, with delicate embroidery tracing every fold and butterfly sleeves rising with gentle grace, she stood beneath the imposing exterior of Buckingham Palace, each stitch bearing the weight of a nation she had not ceased serving since the start of her voyage. On a Manila festival night, flashbulbs burst like firecrackers as photographers repeatedly called her name, voices mixing into chaos. And King Charles III was waiting someplace deep within the palace, beyond those walls. The audience itself lasted for 40 minutes. ISA staff would subsequently characterize it as warm, intensely personal, and far more unexpected in tone and generosity than anybody had imagined. However, no cameras were allowed inside, and no official transcript was made public. According to those succinct comments, there were moments of laughter, times of meaningful stillness, and a sense that this was more than just a ceremonial royal meeting. Rather, it was something more contemplative and personal. Then, the announcement was made. At 30 p.m., Buckingham Palace released a formal statement that instantly sent shockwaves across 2 continents. In addition to praising Alex Eala as an inspiration to young athletes throughout the Commonwealth and beyond, it confirmed that His Majesty King Charles III had disclosed something unexpected, a special gift. The Queen Elizabeth II Commonwealth Young Athlete Award, a new honor created especially to celebrate athletes who exhibit extraordinary bravery, tenacity, and the spirit of fair play, was announced by the King. Alex Eala was designated as its inaugural beneficiary. That wasn't all, though. The prize package was much more than just symbolic. A commemorative medal created by the Royal Mint, an official invitation to a royal banquet at Buckingham Palace later that year, and, most remarkably, a donation of £100,000 intended to promote grassroots tennis growth in the Philippines were all included. The money would be used directly to support coaching programs, construct new courts, and provide training opportunities for the upcoming generation of Filipino athletes. His Majesty's dedication to young development and Commonwealth cooperation has long been a pillar of his public service, and in Alex Eala, he recognized something that embodied those ideals in practice rather than in theory, according to the statement. It was not only a prize. It was an investment in a player, a country, and a future that had seldom received this level of international attention. Additionally, the statement implied that the Commonwealth had discovered not only a promising athlete, but also the first representative of a new legacy in Alexandra Eala. In addition to her athletic accomplishments, His Majesty observes a young woman who exemplifies those ideals by her bravery in upholding her convictions and her dedication to motivating others. The statement seemed to cause the tennis world, which was already in disbelief, to stop breathing. In a matter of minutes, Alex's phone was inundated with notifications from all over the world. Posts, calls, and messages came in so fast they blended together. With a straightforward comment,